Where do you find God? Almost sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? I mean, if God was someone you could find, wouldn't everyone be out searching? Well, rather than looking for something elusive, like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I reckon it's more about learning to recognise the way God is already present to us in our everyday lives. I'm Lizzie Oakes, and this is Where Do You Find God? My guest on the podcast today is a young woman who earlier this year had a great breakthrough into working in the film industry here in New Zealand. Caitlin Head, welcome.
Hey, I feel welcome.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, young lady.
Well, I'm Caitlin Grace Elizabeth Head. I'm 22 years of age. I'm English, Irish and Niuean. My dad is Mark Head, my mum is Nikki Head, and my brother is not as cool as me. But I love him.
Just putting it out there.
Just have to let everyone know.
Yeah. And just give us a little, you had this amazing thing happen. I know you were working in TV. Things kind of weren't quite going the way you wanted them to. You studied film and TV a few years ago, and you were desperate to get into the film industry. There wasn't an opportunity there for you, and then suddenly it all changed.
Yeah, earlier this year in January, I went home at the end of last year down to Mount Maunganui where my parents stay, and I literally had a fat cry, a huge sob to my mum, just saying, "Mum, I can't do this anymore. I'm working in an industry that doesn't love me and I don't love it, and it's just unfair. I don't get paid enough. Like, I can't do this anymore." Like, asking if I could go move back down to Mount because I couldn't afford Auckland and the bigness of it and everything. Sure. And then I was staying at Mount with my parents, and my friend messaged me saying if I wanted a job because he couldn't do it. And I was over the moon. Yes, this is it. This is my breakthrough. And then it didn't happen. And I was so gutted. But then another thing came along on Facebook. I was scrolling at my job that I didn't like, scrolling on Facebook, and there was this ad. And I just thought, who cares? Let's just do it. Let's just apply. Probably nothing will come of it. That's what's happened every single time before. And then I got an email back and saying they wanted to interview me, and I got interviewed by 3 of the big dogs of the production. And then a couple of days later, they called me and said, "We'd love to have you on as our assistant director intern for an international multi-million-dollar film." What the heck? Huge turnaround.
Can you tell us who the director is?
Yeah, I can. It's Taika Waititi. The movie should be coming out next year.
Are you allowed to name it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there was an international film filmed, it depends when people are listening to this, 2024 here in New Zealand, and the director, Taika Waititi. There was no doors of opportunity for Caitlin, and then a door appeared where there hadn't been a door. And what happens often when you get into a film industry, you might become a runner or something, but you go straight to the director's department as an intern. I mean, that's outrageous.
That's like, it doesn't happen ever.
It doesn't.
And it happened to me because the premise of the internship was no experience in the film industry.
No experience required. If you've got experience, we don't want to know about you.
Yeah, and people had been turned away because they had experience. And I was one of, I think there was maybe 2 people, me and one other person. And, that opportunity never comes up, especially for a Taika Waititi film. That's insane. And I got given that opportunity. And I literally was talking to my friend about it the other day, and I was like, that's God's favor right there, man. That doesn't happen to people. And like the movies I've been on since, I shouldn't have been on them. I don't have enough experience to be on those films. Yet I am.
So good. So Caitlin, in Acts chapter 17, verse 27, it says, God intended that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. So my question for you today, Caitlin Grace, is where do you find God?
Oh my gosh. I think, I find God in so many places. I think a huge one that I never really expected that came out of this year was in my workplace.
Tell us about that.
My workplace is crazy, please keep in mind. It's crazy. I can't even list the things that happen in my workplace.
No, you can't.
Because they're crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm this young Christian girl, probably the only Christian there, and I'm working there in amongst all this stuff that would frighten people. And I love it. Like, I'm so glad I'm placed there. And it's an industry that you have to be built for and called for. And I always felt a call to go into film, and I never knew why, but I went for that degree in high school, and it makes sense now that I'm in it, because like God has created me and all the things that I've gone through to be put there, to be a light. Now I'm not going around set being like, I love Jesus, and you know, Jesus has done this for me and it's amazing. But he lets me be me, and that's enough. You know, the industry that I'm in, it's given me the freedom to be myself, where I haven't been given that freedom in other places, school, university, places that I've lived, you know. But in my workplace, everything that I was like bullied for growing up is celebrated. And that was such a freedom. I was so scared that the things that, you know, that brought me down when I was younger, being loud and being vivacious and,
being
you know,
confident.
Yeah, that would be the thing that I would get harassed for in film, but it's a thing that people love and they look for, and the things that I get hired for.
Wow. So what you're saying is, it sounds to me that maybe I'm just interpreting this, in the film industry, the tall poppy syndrome doesn't exist. You in the sense that they want people to stand up and be who they are and be confident.
I'm not sure. I think it definitely still does exist, especially in New Zealand, but it's definitely not a place where...
Don't be a shrinking violet.
No, you can't be fearful to be like, I'm good at this and I'm good at that. You need to put your hand up and just say the truth, like, this is what I can do and this is what I want to do. Because otherwise, if you don't put that forward to people, no one's going to grab onto that and take you with them. I've been really lucky that I've had like a couple people that probably shouldn't be taking me under their wing because they're so high up, but take me under their wing. Not like take me on with them onto every single job they go onto, but just have my back and put my name forward for things. And so my name's circling in these environments that I never thought my name would be circling in. And that's all God. Like, that's all favor that I never thought like I could get. I don't know. It's so cool. And I'm just living in it. And I just say to everyone, like, they're like, how did you even get here? Like, we haven't seen you around before this year. You're new here.
And yet you're so confident. That would be the kind of vibe they would be picking up off you.
Yeah, I've had a friend say, like, I keep forgetting this is only your second film. Like, you're so confident in what you do. I keep thinking you're
only 22.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think work, you know, God calls you to do these things for your career, and I didn't even know why until I was sitting in it and seeing the brokenness and hurt of people, and just people don't even really get compliments because the work industry is so hard. It's just go, go, go. And I just take a moment to stop with some people and say, hey, did you know that you're really good at connecting with people? And that's so beautiful. Like, that's something I so admire about you. People just, oh, thanks. Don't really know how to take it. And it can be a bit of an awkward situation because people don't know how to take compliments. People don't really get complimented, or they think there's something else to it, that you're trying to get something out of them. But I'm just like, this is what I can do. And
but that's who you are by nature, right? I mean, I know you. And you're somebody who just by nature, you're a cheerleader, you're somebody who encourages. And I'm thinking about how, you know, it talks about that we're made in the image of God. And as a person with a big personality, an expressive, a creative personality, you've found a place where you fit, which isn't particularly Christian.
No.
But it's storytelling, and God has made you to fit there. And not only do you do your job well, but you come and you bring the presence of God and you spread encouragement and life into people.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
It's incredible. It's really, like, I know I was placed there for a reason, and that didn't become clear to me until recently, because I literally, my first job, I was like, God, why am I here? This doesn't make sense. Like, this is not a place that really Christians dwell in, yet I'm here. What's going on? And as time went on, I was just like, oh, people just need joy. There's not enough joy. There's not enough upbringing. There's not enough, you know, just love being put in there for, like, not wanting it back, just wanting to give it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. And I even had one of my mates who didn't know I was Christian, and then one day I was just like, oh, church, Sunday, that's what I did. He was so shocked, and he went on this whole spiel. He has a lot of religious trauma, and he went on this whole spiel, you know, you give me hope that for faith and for Christians, that there's good Christians out there, because he's been hurt and wounded so much by, I don't know what, he didn't tell me what, but he said, you give me hope. And that was crazy. That was something I didn't expect. And I don't go broadcasting that I'm in love with the Lord, but,
Oozes out of you.
I kind of also do sometimes, I go, amen, hallelujah, I don't need validation because I've got the validation of the Lord. And people just think I'm joking, but I'm being so for real.
I'm just thinking, because I know when you are on a film set, you work really long days, really long hours. It sort of takes over your whole life, doesn't it? When you're on a job, what do you do to refresh yourself and to, find God and to be refreshed?
I go to my family often. My family is a huge basis for my faith. I have you here in Auckland. I call my parents non-stop.
Yeah, I mean, if people who are listening don't know, I am actually your auntie,
yeah.
which is a great privilege of mine.
Oh, thanks. I love having you as my auntie. But I go to my family because, they all are just so encouraging and loving and speak truth and life over me, and just being in their presence brings me life. And, some days after work when it's just so tough, I literally just sit in the car park, put on a song of worship and cry. And it's all I need. I just need a good cry and then I'll be fine.
Like hit the reset button.
Yeah.
Let it all out.
And it feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just very blessed that, I really do feel like God has shown me how much he's had my back through getting me into this industry and giving me this work. Because I didn't know what departments I wanted to work in or anything before I stepped into the industry. And I just so happened to get into the department that I would have wanted to work in.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Above what you had hoped or imagined.
I could have never imagined this.
I'm just thinking of somebody listening to this, Caitlin, and they've got a dream in their heart. It's not playing out right now, but also maybe with what I know that there's people listening who are identifying with feeling this certain personality and like, jeepers, I'm nothing like these people around me. I'm a square peg in a round hole. What would you say to that person?
Don't compromise who you are. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And I think I definitely forgot that at times until I stepped into the thing that was meant for me. And it made sense why I'm made the way I am. And that will happen. There's no other way. There's no other option. You're made for this. That you will get there. It just might not be in the way or the journey that you thought would take place. But it will make sense once you've arrived.
Caitlin Grace Head, thank you so much for joining me today on Where Do You Find God?
Thanks for having me.
If you'd like to listen again, tune into Star each Wednesday morning at 10:30 or listen and subscribe via your favourite podcast app and give us a review so others can find us.